Hi, it's Dia. Today I want to show you a really cool secret about drawing animal fur. And it involves a barbecue skewer. This one's very long. They obviously do not have to be this long. The only thing that they have to have is a very sharp point. You can also use a sharp pointed pen that doesn't have any ink in it at all. This is less risky because nothing's going to come out of this, obviously. So you see we have a little picture of a cute squirrel, and all we're going to do to make his tail look like a squirrel tail is to go over this area and I can't even say it's scoring, but drawing lines on the paper as if you were making fur with a colored pencil. But obviously this is leaving no marks, and wherever you're going to leave one of these marks, it's going to indent the paper a tiny bit. So just like when we were kids and we would do a rubbing of something, you know, trying to find what somebody wrote on a piece of paper, it's kind of the same idea. After I finish this, we're going to go over it with a Polychromos cold gray 6 pencil. Now make sure you get all the lines in first, because once you go over it with the pencil, you're not going to be able to add more of these lines. Now all these lines are going to remain white that I just put in. Now over here I added smaller lines because the fur is not as big on his back or his face, but I am going to highlight it over here because I'm assuming the light's coming from this direction, so there'll be little highlights of fur here. Now I'm going to show you what happens. So I have the pencil sharpened to a nice point. It doesn't have to be a perfect point though. And then I'm going to lay it on its side and I'm going to start rubbing. At first blush, it kind of looks like not much, but as you get a little bit darker, you'll see that all those areas that you scraped with that skewer stay white. This doesn't have to be perfect, this first go around at all. You're just trying to get an idea of where you put those lines. Okay, now you can go back and define the area a little bit more. And you can use more of the tip of the pencil, although I wouldn't hold it like this so much, but more of the tip, and you can start to press relatively hard. I wouldn't try to burnish because it's going to push as hard as the wooden skewer did and you'll lose the marks. So you'll see right now that you can start to see those lines and it looks like fur. Now this is where the curl in the tail was. So I'm going to push a little bit harder over here because there would be a shadow. I'll follow that curve around. Just so I can have an idea and I don't completely cover where I had the markings to begin with. So hopefully on this relatively cloudy day, you can see what I'm talking about. I will pick it up in a minute to get it closer to the camera so you can see. outside. I want this squirrel to look very cute, not necessarily realistic. I want him to look cute and fuzzy, something appealing. So I'm going to make extra fur on the outside to make him look even more fuzzy and cuddly. If you see any whiter areas, go right back on in. I'm going to define this a little bit more. This is where the curve was. And it's nice that even when you push this hard, you can still see the white pieces, so it looks like there's extra white pieces even on top of the shadows, which is exactly what it would be like in a real situation if this little guy was in fact a real squirrel. I'm gonna make it a little darker down here because there would be a natural shadow at the base. I'm gonna go over here. Color in the areas. This isn't going to be as defined as this area because I made the marks smaller and I didn't make as many of them, but I did it beforehand for the sake of time. I'm going to define the outside of his body a little bit. I'm going to outline his cheek a little more to give him a nice round cheek. On this side also there would be a natural shadow down this side. I'm going to take a lighter gray now. This one is warm gray 3. I'm going to finish this up, even though this area doesn't really have any sketch marks. I want to get the squirrel so he looks cute, so you can tell what it looks like when it's done. I'm going to start to blend this area in to the darker area. Let me make his feet a little bit more defined because they're cute. His feet would be on the same plane. Start to blend in this lighter gray. And put some of this over the top of the area where we scored it. Get some of the nice lighter colors elsewhere so we can see the rest of his fur. A little bit darker under here. There would be a shadow from the acorn. I'm going to make his eye darker just so he looks very cute. You can actually see what he looks like. I think I am going to go over some of the areas that I did with the pointed stick, just so it shows up even more. I'm leaving a little highlight in his eye now as I'm talking, and I'm trying to keep this video under 10 minutes, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. But I want you to be able to see how cute he looks when he's done. Give him some little cute fur here, more fur sticking out here. You can see as I'm using the black over these areas, it's even more of a contrast and it looks very cute. You can add some stray hairs in here. You can even go over it with a white pencil or a gel pen. I really like those Signo gel pens if you didn't get enough. But I like this because it's quick, it's dimensional, it looks like real animal fur. He looks very cute. Give him some little fingers holding on to that acorn he worked so hard to get. And I'm going to even take now a lighter gray. Color them in. Defining the shadows. I'm going to leave him a little white bib here. I'm going to go back to the darker warm gray. And I'm going to draw some fur in here, but darker fur. Now the hair, the fur on the face is usually much closer and much shorter. These little ears. So I'm only going to give an indication of the fur here. It's not so intense and visible. A little bit down here, a little bit up here, a little bit into his ears. Of course, if I had more time, I like to keep it in real time because I want to show you how long these things take. I'm not even going to color in the acorn. Well, you know what? I will. And if anybody wants to stick around and see that, that's fine. It'll make it a little longer. So you can see the whirl. A little shadow on this side. Bit darker. I'm going to add a little bit of pink in his ears, and my favorite ear color for animals is light magenta. Not sure if that would actually look like that in real squirrel ears, but you know what? He's a very cute little cartoon, and I think we can get away with it. So on the acorn, I'm going to make a little bit of details. I'm using Van Dyke Brown. And then I'll use, I'm looking for an orangey little highlight over here. Maybe a line of green as the seasons change. Acorns can be several colors. Again, darker on this side. I'll go over the green a little bit. On the top, I'm going to use green gold. I would go over these much more carefully and leave shadows on each one of those little areas on the top of the acorn. Get a little shadow. And there you have it. Bring it up a little closer so you can see the fur. So you can see all those little individual hairs. And I'm just going to show you one more thing before I sign off. You can actually go around each hair and make them stand out a lot. And it looks like, well, especially if you take the time to find the base of each hair, meaning where you started the stroke, and then it looks like it's darker, so it adds depth. You know, it'll be darker in what looks like the bottom of the hair area. And that's about it. That's my cool animal trick. It's what I consider a cool animal trick. Thank you so much for watching with me. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I'll have another video on Sunday. I hope you like this video and I hope you subscribe. Hit that button below and I will talk to you soon. Thank you so much. Bye.